So the video I posted a few days ago was very controversial. About 3 people actually unsubscribed, and I'm gonna miss you guys. Out of all the purposely offensive things I've said, the thing I have to apologize for is entertaining the possibility that Russell Brand may have been set up. And it reminded me of Michael Jackson. See, some people think he's a kid diddler. Other people believe it's a conspiracy, a racist conspiracy. They were trying to sabotage Michael because he's white. Obviously, there's nothing the justice system could do to Michael that he hasn't done to himself. For real, Michael started out looking like a regular black dude, then he started developing white spots on his skin. It's called vitiligo, and I don't think people with vitiligo look bad. I'm not just saying that to be nice. These chicks with vitiligo look hot as hell. It's a unique look. But Michael Jackson was insecure about the white spots. He wanted his skin to be even, and there are treatments for this. They'll find a spray that matches your skin tone. You get it put on once a week. There's also makeup too. But Michael, he decided to bleach his skin entirely, and personally, I think this looks worse than the white spots. To match his complexion, he started wearing wigs and he got a nose job. His son was asked about it on the Mike Tyson podcast.
I thought he was changing his skin because he wanted to be white. He was changing it because he wanted to glow. He wanted to be a light.
That's
the
the
light
story?
he wanted to shine, yeah.
Holy.
He told you that?
Huh?
Did he tell you
I
that?
remember out in the year, he wanted to glow. He was the light.
Interesting.
Light.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first met Mike in Bahrain, and then he had like some white shorts. I didn't know his legs was gonna be white.
Yeah.
That bugged me out. I was like, "What?" That's the first thing. And then he was like, "Hey," like he started laughing and stuff. But I was with him for like 2 days, and he really like everything is like you said. It's like
he understood life more than we thought he did. Who would think they want to be the light to glow? Who would think that? Nobody.
He was definitely on another plane. When I was younger, he was always explaining to me, speaking about that, he had a skin condition called vitiligo. It may have been I don't know what the actual medical term is.
So I'm hearing from you. That is real.
Yeah.
This is had that.
Yeah, I think it was even on the autopsy report.
Okay.
So there was things. I think the cause of it, it's up for speculation, but it's either vitiligo or some form of lupus that contributed to the vitiligo. And he had a lot of insecurity around kind of looking blotchy in his appearance. So he wanted to see if he could, smooth out his appearance to help with his security on his, I guess, physical appearance. I think the glowing may have probably also had something to do with it because he was visionary, I guess, in the way that
And I'm sure Michael Jackson was a good father. Tons of people in the comments like to mention that this isn't his biological son, as if adopting someone is a bad thing. Bob Marley had adopted kids. Brad Pitt, Eminem, YoungBoy has a kid that's not biologically his. People have such a hard time raising their own kids that they think it's crazy that someone would adopt, and that's the reason why adoption is a good thing. Michael had 3 kids. 2 of them are obviously adopted. The third one, Blanket, he kind of looks like Michael, but he might be adopted too. He's probably adopted too. So Michael wanted to have children, but he didn't have any biological children. He was married a few times, and one of these women was Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley. See, Michael could have had any woman he wanted. He wanted to be as impactful as Elvis. He wanted to be the next Elvis, like his generation's Elvis, and he was. So naturally, he got with his daughter. And good, if these two had a baby, he or she would be super talented. If your dad is Michael and your grandfather is Elvis, then you probably got some platinum records in your DNA. They never had a kid, and according to one of Michael Jackson's former employees, they never even had sex. They slept in different rooms, and Michael would spray perfume on a pair of panties. He'd throw them on the ground to make it look like they had sex. Sandy Doms, who worked at Neverland Ranch, said their relationship didn't seem natural. It didn't even seem like they were friends. Michael Jackson's maid, Adrienne McManus, said the same thing. Michael would intentionally make it look like they had sex, putting broken glass by the bed to make it seem like they're banging intensely, but nothing belonging to a woman was ever in his room. Michael went through this effort to make it seem like he was sexually active when he wasn't. He could have just had sex, but he never had the urge to. The two of them never slept in the same bed, and it wasn't because he had other girls over, he just wasn't interested in her. Now, why wasn't he interested in her? Why didn't he have a strong sex drive? Why couldn't Michael have children? Well, according to Michael Jackson's doctor, Conrad Murray, Michael was chemically castrated as a child.
He trailed off saying, quote, the cruelty expressed by Michael that he experienced at the hand of his father, the fact that he was chemically castrated to maintain his high-pitched voice is beyond words. That's his quote. Finishing his statement off with this, he says, I hope Joe Jackson finds redemption in hell. This is not the first time Murray has made allegations about Michael being chemically castrated. The former cardiologist previously shared similar claims in his 2016 book called This Is It: The Secret Lives of Dr. Conrad Murray and Michael Jackson, accusing Joe of forcing Michael to get hormone injections at age 12 to cure his acne and prevent his voice from changing.
His dad made the decision to castrate Michael so he could preserve his high voice. Michael's brothers don't have similar voices to them, and they also have children.
It ain't that. He knows he owes him a lot. He owes him his music. He enjoys that. He enjoys just being an adult.
For the loss, right? I have a good time. I mean, I can't go into a park. I can't go to Disneyland as myself. I can't go out and walk down the street. There's crowds and bumper-to-bumper cars. And
this is called castrati, and it's been done since the medieval ages, but it fell out of style in the 1920s. These castrated boys would become choir singers, opera singers, and sometimes priests. Parents castrated their boys, hoping that they would become successful as singers, which usually happen. These guys were superstars back in the 1800s. Nowadays, we just use auto-tune. You might be curious how these men developed without testosterone. Their joints wouldn't harden, so their limbs grew longer than average, meaning they were usually taller than the average person and had longer arms, longer legs. Their rib cages were also bigger, which helped them sing. I'm gonna play a clip of a castrati and then compare it to Michael's voice.
Ethereal, very operatic.
So Michael Jackson never hit puberty. It was intentional to preserve his voice, but it also affected who he was and his personality. That might be why he wanted to act like a kid and hang around kids. There are also famous allegations that he liked banging kids too.
For a 44-year-old man to share a bedroom with a child who is not related to him at all.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's not a worrying thing?
Why should it be worrying? Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room? This is a guy trying to help heal a child. I'm sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor. I gave him the bed because he has a brother named Star. So him and Star took the bed, and I'm on the floor in the sleeping bag.
Did you ever sleep in the bed with them?
No. But I have slept in the bed with many children.
Now, I'm not sure if this is true or false. Even without functioning hormones, you could still get erections. They're just not as common. There's a genetic condition called Klinefelter syndrome. It's where you have an extra X chromosome, the female chromosome. Men with this condition have lower levels of testosterone, similar to a child. According to the LA Times, pedophiles are more likely to have this condition compared to the average person. And I'm not saying Michael is a pedophile, just pointing out that being hormone deficient doesn't stop you from being a pedophile. Michael never had relationships with women growing up. He had crushes, he liked girls, but he never approached them. People thought that he was gay or asexual. Oprah asked Michael if he was a virgin in 1992, and he wouldn't answer.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah.
With Brooke Shields?
Yes, and another girl.
And another girl? I'm going to ask you this, and it's embarrassing for me to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you a virgin?
How could you ask me that question?
I just want to know. I want to know.
I'm a gentleman.
You're a gentleman.
I'm a gentleman.
So
I'm a gentleman.
So, okay, I would interpret that to mean that means that you believe that a lady is a lady, and therefore...
That's something that's private. I mean, you know, shouldn't be spoken about openly. You can call me old-fashioned if you want, but, you know, to me that's very personal.
So you're not going to answer it?
I'm embarrassed.
Now, why wouldn't he answer? Because he probably was a virgin. Michael Jackson was probably chemically castrated as a kid, and that explains why he never had biological children and why his voice sounded the way it did. Now, there are people in Quora who believe that this is a myth. They say castratis have unusually long limbs and Michael didn't. And here's some pictures of castratis. They don't look too unusual, just lanky, long arms. Michael definitely had long arms, and as a kid, they look normal size, then as an adult, they almost reached his knees. His legs were pretty long too. He had trouble finding pants that reached down to his feet, and his socks were often visible. There's people who don't want to believe this, even though it makes perfect sense. It doesn't take away from any of his accomplishments, like the Sega Genesis game, Moonwalker. What do you guys think? I'm out.